Okay, everyone, you need not worry. I've heard your pleas, I've heard your cries, I've heard your suggestions, and I've heard your demands. I know that you guys want me to play a specific game after seeing all of the comments on my State of Decay video. But as I said, you need not worry. This video was already in the works. I've already played this game, and of course I love it. So let me just grind this video out and get it to you today so that you guys can know that there is no need to fret, cause the video is here. The long prophesized Project Zomboid. Okay, cringy intro aside, I just want to say I appreciate all of the love and comments that I have been getting on my State of Decay video. I totally did not expect that video to blow up, but shout out to everyone who's given me suggestions and who's just shown the love in the comments. I love seeing all the comments and feedback that I've been getting recently, and it's just thank you guys so much. I also want to point out I am in a different sort of area because I wasn't planning on doing this video today. It was scheduled for probably 2 weeks down the road, but everyone wanted Project Zomboid, so I thought I'd better grind this out today. So I am in a bit of a new recording location, but it should only be this video. But honestly, I cannot count the amount of comments I got telling me that I need to check out Project Zomboid. And let me just say, as a zombie fanatic, of course I've played Project Zomboid. I love that game. I've honestly put hours into that game, and half of those hours were probably learning it, because if you know that game, you know it's a hard game to learn, but I'll get into that. I just want to say, I have played this game, I love this game, and I just thought with all of the comments and all of the people suggesting this game that I just had to push this video out and let you guys know what I thought about it. So let's not draw this intro out any longer than it needs to be. Let's just get right into Project Zomboid. So I'm just going to start off with, I did not know how much love this game actually got. You know, I knew that a lot of PC players played Project Zomboid because, you know, it's a PC exclusive game, but I just never expected to get the amount of comments I got. So if you don't know what Project Zomboid is, it's a zombie game that is a PC exclusive. I have seen stuff about, you know, porting it to consoles, and the devs have said that due to the coding, it's just really hard to port, and they just want to focus on what they have right now. But they have said that it's not out of their mind, so who knows, it might come to console someday. I have played it on controller. It is an absolute pain to play on controller. I stick to mouse and keyboard whenever I play that game, but that's neither here or there. If you don't know what Project Zomboid is, it is a zombie game that is isometric, it's top-down, and it has a pixelated art style, and everything art-wise is just so simple, and I love that. And it's a really survival-focused zombie game where you need to eat and you need to sleep, and you can get scared, and you can lose weight, and you can gain weight, and you can feel sick, and there's just so many factors into actually surviving. And on top of that, there's looting, there's a bunch of different stuff you can find. You know, you need to replace your clothes if they get ripped up. They focused on so many survival mechanics that they dumbed down the art because it doesn't need to be crazy. And I'll get into that in a second. I just wanted to, that's what Project Zomboid is. A very intense survival zombie game that is really all about surviving. So with all of those mechanics, I said it earlier, half of the hours I have put into this game are probably learning it. There is so much in this game that it can push you away with how much you need to learn to actually be able to play the game. It's a game where you really need to get into it to really get into it, if that makes sense. I know that's probably really stupid when it comes out, but that's really the only way I could describe it. It's hard to get into, but once you get into it, you will love it completely. So I'm just gonna talk about now the things I like and then the things I just didn't really like about the game. And there wasn't really that much I didn't like about the game. But one of the big things I like is the skills system, just starting off right off the bat, because that's what you start with, is setting up your skills. You need to learn skills to do things. You know, you can't do electric work without knowing the electric skill. And the way you learn that is you find, you know, handbooks, or you find manuals or magazines based off electricity. And so depending on what the actual piece of literature is you will learn from it. There's even TVs where you can learn cooking, or from the news you might learn something. I don't know. But you need to have your character learn their skills, which I really enjoy. At the beginning, you get to choose what your profession was, such as police officer, fireman, carpenter, electrician. And depending on what that profession was, it goes into the skills that you start with. So if you start as a carpenter, you're gonna have building knowledge. You're gonna know how to build some stuff. But if you start as a gardener, you won't know how to build, but you can garden, so that might be a little more useful. But the thing on top of that is, it's not locked down to, you're a gardener, so you will never learn how to build, you will only know how to garden. You just need to learn that stuff. You need to find the materials to learn it. And I really like that skill system because it's really immersive in my opinion. Speaking of skills, there are so many. There's shooting, there's cardio, there's, as I said, carpentry, electrician, there's gardening, there's cooking. You can really choose a playstyle that you want to do. If you never want to build and you want to find a house and set it up and become master chef in the zombie apocalypse, do it. It's totally up to you. And with the base building, you can even choose to never learn how to garden and only learn carpentry, stock up as much food as you want, and build an actual zombie apocalypse kingdom. You can turn a church into a castle and build walls around it and do whatever you want build-wise. There is so much that you can do, and it's all up to you on how you want to do it, when you want to do it, if you want to do it. And that's what makes an amazing zombie game. That's what I really liked about State of Decay. It was really open and just do your thing, play the zombie apocalypse. And that's what I really like about this game. There's not a lot of story to weigh you down and, make you think about what you need to do, story, and then all the side game stuff. This game is just zombie apocalypse survival, and I really do enjoy that. Another thing I absolutely love is, as I said, the base building. There's so much you can build, to the point you can even go out and collect stuff to add to your base. I know it probably will never work. I don't know though, because there's still so much to learn even for me. And I found a computer in the wild and I brought it home to my home camp and I set it up just because I like the look of the PC in the room. Probably won't ever work, but it's that decorative thing. You can decorate. I have a lamp that just shines red in my kitchen. I don't know. It's small stuff like that, You can get generators. You can get barbecue so you can barbecue outside. Or you can build everything yourself. You want to build a chair? Build a chair. You want to go get a chair from a different house and bring it to your house? Do that. So that's one thing I did really like, is the really intense but still simple enough building mechanics. I love games that have good base building, and this is definitely one of them. On to the next thing I liked, and I mentioned it before, is the art style. I love when games have awesome art styles, and this is definitely one of them. The pixelated but still has good lighting effects and the fog. It feels like they put a real environment into a pixel-based game, and it's like when you turn ray tracing on Minecraft on, it's just got that little bit of real feeling. Obviously this game isn't ray traced, but that's what the lighting effects and the fog does. And to mix that with a certain pixelated art style, it all just merges well. And on top of that, that causes the performance to not tank every time you're playing it. And as I said, there's so many mechanics that the graphics doesn't dumb that down. You don't get distracted on fancy looking things. You just focus on what you need to do. And I do enjoy that. And I think it looks awesome. There are some games, I won't say any names, but there's one game in particular I think of that go for this unique art style, and it's half of their marketing for the game, and it ends up failing, just bombing on them. And I don't think that's what Project Zomboid did. They went for the pixel-based graphics and it went well. And on top of that, it was probably easier for them to develop so they could add more stuff in so you have a bigger game. On top of that, I play games like Dwarf Fortress. So pixelated graphics really are not an issue to me, and I can enjoy just about anything if the gameplay is good enough. And let me say, Project Zomboid's gameplay is 100% good enough to dislook the graphics. I know some people have an issue with games that don't have great graphics, but I'm telling you, this game, you can overlook the graphics with the amount of stuff that's actually in it. Another thing that I really liked was the AI of the zombies. They weren't really stupid, and they weren't really smart for zombies. Like, some games have zombies that will notice you from a mile away and run at you as fast as they can, and they will jump over buildings. Like the Dying Light zombies, not that I don't like Dying Light Dying like zombies are cracked, dude. They are crazy. And the zombies in this game are a bit more zombie-ish. They shamble around. They don't notice you unless they're looking at you. And on top of that, there's a cool view mechanic where, let's say you're in a house that has 4 walls, you won't be able to see outside. But if there's windows, you can see a small slot through the windows. If a zombie sees you through that small slot, they're gonna come jump through your window and try to get you, because that's just logic. A zombie can see through windows, and in some games they're like, man, no, it's fine. But I just really like the AI of the zombies in this game. They did really well on giving the zombies a zombie feel. They're not cracked, but at the same time, they're not just like ultra dumb like other games have their zombies, where it's just no point in playing the game because the zombies are useless. And the last thing I want to say that I really did enjoy about this game, and it doesn't really have anything to do with the gameplay of the game, is that it was made by a small indie team. I love playing games that I just can't stop playing, and then I learned that it's made by a tiny team, because it's just, they did something phenomenal that some big development companies that have 100 people to a team can't even achieve, and it's just awesome to see that. I've played games before, like, I don't know if you've heard of 0 Hour, but 0 Hour is another one of those indie games that was made by a tiny dev team, but it's just a crazy good game for what they had when they made it, and it always is just awesome for me to see that, and this is one of those games. Now, I am going to move on to the big things I didn't really like, and I already said one of them. You cannot play this game with a controller. You can, but it is so annoying and so hard. I downloaded it on my Steam Deck because I thought this is going to be the perfect Steam Deck game. Let me just say it was not. Playing it with mouse and keyboard is how it's supposed to be played. Something about the controller, it's so janky and it just does not feel right, and I could not do it. I deleted it within 20 minutes of trying to play, but in the long run, that's not a big issue. Another thing that I did not really like was, with all of the stuff that this game has, it is super overwhelming. You will need to have guides and stuff so you know what you are doing. I might be the only one, but it's just, for games that I love, I want people to jump into it, but I know games like this are really hard to jump into because it's overwhelming, and I know a lot of people will be pushed away from that, and I wish games like this just had an easier opening, but at the same time, I understand the hardcoreness of this game, because simplicity at the beginning would ruin the whole general difficulty of the game. So I do understand that, but at the same time, I feel like it does not need to be so overwhelming. Really though, those are the only 2 things I have wrong with this game. I agree with a lot of people saying this is the perfect zombie game, or this is the best zombie game. I know graphics might not keep up with Cyberpunk, but let's be honest, I've been saying it my whole life. If a game has amazing mechanics and it is just ultimately fun to play, it doesn't need good graphics. It does not need to look good. Half the time when it looks good, it's distracting and the game runs crappy. So I just gotta say, graphics aside, this is easily one of the best zombie games I have ever played. If you haven't played it and you have a PC, go check it out. And that's all I really have to say with this video. It's pretty long, and I'm gonna have to edit this all down today and get it out before the end of the night because you guys wanted Project Zomboid. And I have to say, again, thank you so much for all the support and all the suggestions I got in the comments. I also got a lot of suggestions to 7 Days to Die, and I will be checking that game out. That video might not come as soon as this one came because I don't have that game on my PC right now, and I have not played it in probably 2 or 3 years, so I'm going to need to give it another try, give it a few hours to really get my thoughts on it, but that video will be coming too. Anyways, if you enjoyed this video, if you agreed with anything I said, if you learned about a new game that you might want to go check out, definitely let me know in the comments below. If you have any suggestions, I know a lot of people had suggestions in my State of Decay video, so definitely throw that down below as well. If you enjoyed the music you heard in this, I am changing up the music scheme. Some people couldn't hear the music because I have really bad OCD, and I will sit there for 20 minutes editing music and vocal audio and trying to mix it right, and it always comes out bad, so I'm switching up the music formula a little bit in the videos, so let me know what you guys think of that, and if you like any music, don't forget to check out billythewhip.com or just Billy the Whip on any music platform, and, you know, as always, it's the end of the video. I have a great day. You have a great day. Everyone has a great day.
the head. Billy the boogeyman coming for you. Look out for the pigs, look out for me too. Been chewing them up, spitting the new, spitting the bones, pushing the noose, squeezing the game. Been making that juice, no need for the pulp. I'm spitting that too, rip it through. Anyone jumping through hoops, it's emergency, man. Sending the troops.